Welcome back, guys, to supposed to be our second episode of our unnamed podcast, but we both forgot to press record on Sunday, so it is going to be our first debut episode. But yeah, here we are. Hey, what's up, Giuliano?
What's up, bud? Supposed to do a UFC 249 predictions and, full different chat. But today, I guess we'll settle on a 249 review, post-fight analysis.
Yep. It was fucking stacked card. It was.
Stacked card. Crazy that there was a live sporting event to even watch on TV.
First sport back, Dana kept his word, which is pretty awesome. I fucking love that guy, Uncle Dana. But yeah, man, fucking a couple surprises, definitely for sure. The first fight that I can think of, Bryce Mitchell. What'd you think of that one?
Oh yeah, so okay, damn, that's crazy. First of all, I wanted to quickly say that I didn't think Ryan Spann deserved that win against Alvey. I think maybe his first round was better, but then after that, nothing really crazy landed. I think that the significant strikes were in Buddy Ginger white guys category, but I don't know. I think because he got rocked a bunch of times in the first round the standing arm triangle, I guess they thought he had an advantage.
That was close too.
I've never seen that in my life, number one.
I know. I wanted him to finish that so badly because I was so excited. I'm like, oh my god, I've never seen this before in my life.
Yeah, no, that was pretty
crazy.
That was pretty intense, and I feel like only someone of that size can slap that on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for that fight, I don't know. He was if Francis wasn't the biggest favorite, I know he had to have been the biggest favorite, Ryan Spann, on that card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
which is kind of surprising because he's coming out of the Dana White Contender Series, 99% sure, and Sam Alvey's fucking grizzled vet. So, yeah, I don't know. Nothing really significant of that fight.
Yeah.
Sam Alvey was he had him in the third round. I'm pretty sure it was the third round. He had him pretty badly hurt, and Spann had to shoot a takedown on him. So, yeah.
Good kickoff fight, though.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And then Bryce Mitchell right after that. You just dominated Charles Rosa.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Holy.
Yeah, I've never watched any of his fights. I've just heard of him after the twister and all the camo short shit that he says after every time he wins. Yeah, man, he had a twister locked in, but then time ran out. But he would have pretty much had that because if you get put in that, you have to tap. That position sucks. I remember our jiu-jitsu coach. He actually he showed us that move in a class one time, and he's before he showed us it, he's like, guys, don't do this, it's illegal, but I'm gonna show you it anyways. So it was pretty funny, and then he showed us shit. But
that's awesome.
That was crazy. He kept fighting for that too. He on the ground, he was just transitioning from a twister, and then the arm triangle choke. He was fucking. His ground game was sick. He was.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So he doesn't have any crazy belt or anything in jiu-jitsu, right? That's what I heard. Yeah, I don't think he's a black belt or anything crazy like that. I think he just dominated the shit out of him off of just pure practice, not even years of experience.
I don't know his background. I don't know too much about him, but I don't know, man. He has to be maybe a Donald Cerrone kind of caliber. I don't even think Cerrone's even a belt or anything. He just strictly trains no gi, just MMA kind of training. Maybe he's that, because I don't know. I'm not too sure about him. I'm just getting familiar with him right now.
Oh, so he's a brown belt. He's a brown belt.
Oh, okay. Because I know the guy he was fucking up, Charles Rosa. He's a black belt. So he was doing that to a black belt. Right? He has to be up there.
Yeah, I think that was for us a very cool fight to watch because of the jiu-jitsu game. Like a lot of transitions, a lot of reversing, but he stayed pretty dominant like the entire fight, I would say. Like
yeah, he was on top of him the whole fight. Charles Rosa, like towards like the end of the round, he was like giving him shit. He's like, "Yo, let's stand up." When he was getting dominated, and Bryce Mitchell was like, "Get the fuck out of here! I'm just gonna fucking snap your neck."
Yeah.
No, that was sick. It was cool in the empty arena because you could clearly hear, even for like specifically for the Ryan Spann coach, he was like communicating with his coaches while the fight was going on. Like it's like, "Oh, I got you, coach," whenever he was getting advice. So like that was pretty sick like, to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And then the trash talking was obviously the best part for the Bryce Mitchell part.
Yeah, I know, dude. Like to be able to hear the corners, like we'll talk about it later, but like Henry Cejudo's corner, like I could hear everything like crystal clear of what his coaches were saying to him. Like it was like very different event to like watch in general because usually we don't get to hear like what the coaches are saying or if the athlete responds back to the coaches or something like that, you know? Like I bet you some fans didn't even know that like the athletes are aware and stuff like that, you know? Like they probably just think that they just scrap it out, but like it's so technical.
And another thing is that with I know with the Greg Hardy fight and one of the other fights is that Daniel Cormier, when he was commenting, he was like, "Oh, Greg Hardy's got to check those leg kicks." And then he, in his post-fight interview, was like, "Oh yeah, I heard DC saying I got to check those leg kicks, so I did." And he was like, and DC was even saying, "He's like, fuck, man, maybe we have to move further back because I'm giving." He was saying his mind's a cheat code. That's what he said.
Yeah.
The fighters were like getting like sick advice if he was talking about them, especially when it comes to wrestling, because he's a Olympic caliber wrestler, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and DC was just saying though, that's just a part of his job is to like answer the questions and go from like how the fighter can win the fight kind of standpoint, right? Like he's not the play-by-play guy. He's more of like the analyst guy who is like, okay, he needs to get an underhook or like he
color
needs to
commentator kind of thing.
Yeah, like he kind of like gives the audience, right? Like I'm trying to think of like someone that doesn't has no idea about like how to like mix martial arts and you know the difference and stuff. So when you hear DC and he's like, "Oh, the guy's got to, you know, get top control or he needs to do this or whatever," at least gives the audience like a perspective on like how the guy can like do better if he's pinned up against the cage or if he's like in a shitty situation, then you know DC kind of like tells you how he can get out of it. But like you said, it's like a fucking it's a cheat code for the guys in the ring if you can hear him because and another thing too, and I don't notice this when we're gaming, is like when you have those overhead ones on, you're talking a lot louder because you know he only hears the other guys talking to him, right? So he's projecting his voice a bit more because like Rogan may be screaming or like whatever. And did you see his thing about like Rogan's a cool guy, like you want to touch him and shit?
Yeah, it's like when they're watching the fight together. That's why they all like they do like the basketball celebrations when someone gets like knocked out.
Yeah.
So
no,
funny.
I think Helwani called him out because during like the post-fight analysis when they were all like standing next to each other, like DC kept like touching Rogan's arm and like grabbing his.
Oh yeah, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
I just he's like. He's just one of those guys you want to touch, you know? I'm like, that's fucking jokes.
Joe Rogan. If I saw Joe Rogan, I'd want to like just touch his arm too.
Right?
Right? No, but yeah, and then the thing about like the Bryce Mitchell fight is that no one will appreciate that unless you're a jiu-jitsu guy or you're like familiar with that. You do
100%.
Because when I went upstairs and like I went to go get a drink before like the next fight, when that fight ended, my parents were watching it upstairs and I was like, "Oh, what'd you think of that?" And they're like, "Oh fuck, that was so boring." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "You fucking," I was like, "Oh my god, that was fucking amazing." It just basically just shows that like you have like such a great appreciation because of that shit, like of how complicated. It's like all little details, especially in a gi. It's like such fine details. If you mess one detail up, it'll fuck up the whole whatever like transition or sweep or submission you're going for. So.
Oh, dude, especially with the fucking gi, bro. Holy, that's like a whole different world.
And I think you signed up at Combat after, or actually it might have been like right before.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it was like right before Nogi ended.
Yeah, and like Nogi was completely different. It was really cool. Like like you do better against guys that are fucking gross, but they still kick the shit out of you. You know what I mean? But
oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like you don't get caught in like a fucking cross strokes and shit if you don't know how to defend it at least, right?
Yeah, it's like tapping.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So the preliminary card, Uriah Hall and Ronaldo Souza got canceled because Souza had a case of COVID and his cornerman, so that was shitty to see. So I was really excited.
That was very, very late news that came out like very late. So I don't even think you and I touched on that in the first podcast.
No, it was like the day of.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like it was so yeah, and everyone was like tripping out and they're like, this is the exact reason why the event shouldn't have happened, blah blah blah, whatever. And it was like realistically, if you think about, you know, like the people that set up the event, the people that are backstage, the people that run the lights, the photographers, the commentators, once you count how many people were involved in the event and you see that only one guy who came from another state, right? Like all these guys live all across the states, so they're bringing it from wherever they are, right? So I don't think that he contaminated the entire thing. And something I wanted to ask you about is like he showed up. He was one of the only guys that like didn't want to get close during the face-off and like who was wearing a mask and gloves. So like why was he wearing a mask and gloves prior to him I feel like almost like he knew he was testing positive, but like he wanted.
It could be just taking precautions too, right?
I know, but it was sketchy though, because he was like extremely.
It definitely was sketchy, yeah.
He was extremely distanced. Like all the other guys were like actually going like face to face, and then he like stayed like bare, like away from the guy, and I was like, I don't know.
Gloves on and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like.
And there's a video of him next to We're Doomed when like just chilling like backstage. Like I think must have been like before like the weigh-ins or something. They're like literally having a conversation face to face to each other. And then it was like that meme of like the guys carrying the casket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, that was disappointing. Hope he goes well. And Uriah Hall tweeted at him, like quarterman, like just wishing them all the best, which is really nice. And they both got paid, which is really good to hear.
That's good.
Yeah. The Vincent Gaethe and Nico Price fight. That was my pick for like the kind of, I guess, low-key fight of the night that you wouldn't really be aware of just because it's basically the second fight. Or actually, it was like the first fight of the prelims.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, Nico Price, his eye was a balloon.
Yeah, he got fucked up, bro.
Vincent Luque, man, he has power.
Yeah,
he has power.
He was throwing. Yeah, he was throwing hard shots, bro. Holy fuck. But
fucking animal.
But it didn't look like a crazy like fight until like I feel like the third round, you know, like.
It gets like they start filling each other out, and then it just gets progressive. Like for Luque, for his 5-round fights, like I'm pretty sure his fight, I'm like 90% sure his fight against Mike Perry. I think that was a main event. That's when that picture of Mike Perry, like his nose is literally just like in his island. Yeah, that was that fight. His 5-round fights are fucking crazy because they're just like they're chaotic. But yeah, no, that was definitely sick. Vincent Luque, I don't know who he needs like a higher ranked opponent next, like I don't know who, but like a Robbie. No, maybe Robbie Lawler.
He is ranked, right? He's like 9.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he has to be ranked. I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
But the other buddy wasn't though.
No, Nico Price isn't.
Yeah. I saw that too.
But yeah, no, that was definitely lived up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
But
see.
that was a fucking hard overhand left though. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Like he
Okay,
really.
it's 13th.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought he was a bit
Yeah,
closer.
at Dark Horse MMA.
Oh yeah, go check for the latest UFC news and coverage, guys. We need to make you like a sports center, like a you know, like a.
Like the thing is, I'm not even like into like that kind of shit though. It's just funny. It just I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I just like talking about it. I don't want to be
I
like a
know,
reporter or
but
anything.
I have like you know that mic I tried to use for the pod, like I used in some of my IG videos, like I clip it
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
we have to get you a fucking handheld mic so that you can be like, so it can be like really intense music, and then you come in here like Michael Muto here with Dark Horse MMA with some updates, you know, whatever, and you come in like a fucking news channel and like, you know, hit everybody with the latest shit, especially during this time. That's why I think it's cool that you started all of this, like during the quarantine, is because everyone, number one, is waiting for a fucking sporting event. Like, I bet you the UFC's pay-per-views like went up even though it wasn't like McGregor or like you know, like crazy gate names or anything. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you know, if people are like, oh, you know, like let me check out UFC, and then they get into it or whatever, it's like a perfect time to like follow you because
I
like
never even thought about that. It's true. Yeah.
like for example, Rachel fucking all of a sudden is like all into like fucking UFC. She's like sending me McGregor's tweets like before I even saw them. I swear to God. She sent me the tweets and she's like, "OMG, look, he called out Justin, this, that, whatever." I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
right? So,
I can't imagine fucking Selena saying that.
right? So it's like, so all of a
Hilarious.
sudden, just to let everyone know, the fact that Justin Gaethje is a social worker just like instantly got my girlfriend like into UFC. Like the fact that I don't think she processed that like these guys are like normal humans. Like Kamaru Usman, like all these guys are their dads. Like McGregor has
Yeah,
kids, like he's a
they
dad.
say those all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're just normal guys. Like he has a degree in everything, right? So I think like people are gonna get more interested in UFC because it's one of the only sports that is actually on right now, number one. And then at the same time, simultaneously, you start up a UFC news account where everyone can kind of stay updated with like the latest action and up to date stuff. Like you know how the UFC they post like throwback fights and like all this kind of stuff. Like right now, you're providing the latest UFC news. You're like, okay, it's another fight night, blah blah blah, like keeping everyone up to date, and like that's dope because even for myself, like I follow ESPN, MMA, I follow UFC and all this stuff, but a lot of people like just having like one account where they can go to and like get like everything that they need, right?
Yeah, dude, I fucking I don't even know how many like MMA accounts I follow on like IG and Twitter and shit. Like that's literally
There's a lot.
so it's my whole feed and it's like a lot of repetition too, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, no, like during like yeah, 'cause there's quarantine, like you have so much time. Even though like I'm lucky enough to be able to still work, still so much time like afterwards, like just saving time like commuting and shit, right? So like
Mhm.
I don't know. Thought it was a good time. And like a lot of people, a lot of our friends are starting something that they're passionate about, which is cool. Like Selena's doing a lot of stuff with her cooking account. Shout out
Deliveries,
Estelle. Yeah, she's doing deliveries. She's
deliveries and pickups.
yeah, I'm proud of that girl.
Bro, I literally just messaged her and I want you to know, like, I will support you. I'm just still dieting for a couple more days. Like, and
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I did this challenge or whatever. So it ends actually tomorrow. So for the fight tomorrow, I'm gonna have like a nice meal or something, you know, and the challenge or whatever. And I told her I was like, Wednesday it's over and I'll order next week, like or whatever. But the thing is, dude, like she's not even cooking bad shit. Like the power balls and like all that stuff is like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
not that I would feel guilty eating it, but like I just want to like stay as like clean as possible. I haven't been doing any treats like from this 30-day challenge or whatever, so I just like I'm gonna just enjoy all those good desserts because like they're not things that you feel bad eating. Like they're not like sugar cookies and like shit like that, you know?
Yeah, she spends a lot of money on like the ingredients too, right? It's all quality shit because she's really, that's something she goes to school for. That's something she's passionate about, like studies and that kind of stuff. So it's good.
From the boyfriend review, what is the best dessert so far on the actual delivery menu?
I can't even eat anything. I don't even know. But she for Mother's Day she dropped off my mom. I think I don't want to fuck this up. It's like I want to say it's like matcha tea flavored scones, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something I would literally never eat in my life if it was up to me. Like I would never think of it, right?
Yeah.
But it was there's I obviously wanted to try it just to see how it was because I was curious because that's something she really enjoys and it was so good. Because usually if I eat a scone, it has to be like I remember sometimes in the office, one of my coworkers would bring in like a shit ton of scones, and like I'll always go for this one that's like fucking triple chocolate. It's basically like a chocolate donut. It's a dessert. It's not breakfast. The fact that people for breakfast is like, oh fuck, what a life.
That's awesome.
Yeah. For you guys who may not know, Jules and I have been dieting and like we started cutting for the summer, even though we're at home, making the best out of it. Jules is doing his bionic gym, the grand opening, getting everything together. What kind of equipment you got there?
So, in the Bionic Gym, working to tailor more towards like athletes and stuff. So I don't have like a leg press and like fucking crazy shit like that, obviously. But I'm taking more of there's just to let everyone know there's different components of fitness. Like there's your main components, which are like your muscular strength, cardio, all that kind of stuff, and then like the other things would be like accessory stuff like agility, acceleration, reflexes, reactive time.
Athletes, right?
Exactly. So like I'm bringing
not meatheads.
exactly like if you want to lift heavy weights, you can go to Good Life or wherever to do it. But if you want to like become an animal and like be fucking quick, fast, like I'm working on my hand speed, like for boxing, all kinds of like different things that I would never really get into before. I've kind of like taken like a new passion for and just like becoming an athlete that I never was. I've been really lean, I've been really big, I've been like all these things, but I've never been like agile, quick, responsive, like boom, 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 like, so like I feel like that's gonna help us with jujitsu as well because, number one, I fought at our fucking tournament at 195 and I'm like 177 now. Like that's fucking crazy. Like I can't believe that I'm down like almost like 15, 20 pounds from like my competition weight, which for you guys that don't know, I think Michael fought at like 165. Right? Or like, what was it?
170. 170. I don't know, whatever weight division that is.
Yeah, so you fought at 170. I fought at 195. That means I was fighting guys that were like
big boys.
I was fighting all the big guys, like getting fucking thrown around, like great time. Anyways, but I think I'm just tailoring. Like for example, like I have one of those like fucking weird like neck things. You fucking took a video. You were fucking screen
recording I have on my fucking computer.
Well, anyways, yeah. So I'm like bent over, like doing like neck ups with like this chain to my chin with like a 10-pound weight on the chain.
Floyd Mayweather does. A lot of
exactly. Fighters. So for me,
you won't find that shit a Good Life. I'll tell you that right now.
Right? Because like in jiu-jitsu, when I was fighting the bigger guys, they were like gripping my gi and like pulling me forward. So like my neck was like so sore the next day. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck these bastards. I'm gonna get like a strong neck and like have a brick neck. So if somebody like tries to go for like a collar tie, it's like grabbing like a brick wall, Like
you're gonna wrist lock them by just extending your neck.
Yeah, exactly. Just like submission with my neck.
That's crazy. Oh my god.
But yeah, dude, can't wait for like the the diet to be like complete kind of thing. And just to let everyone know, you know, me and you have been doing this for the past couple years, right? But I want to explain to people the difference between what we're doing this year and what we've been doing for the past 2-3 years, right? Like the past 2-3 years, we've been like, okay, like fucking September comes, it's like Ben and Jerry's, Muck, whatever the fuck we want kind of thing, you know, like
Ben and Jerry's to say the least.
off season and then on season. So we
Yeah,
try
basically we just pick out.
but we say bulk. Oh, we're gonna bulk. Like no,
Yeah,
like
we're not bulking.
no, we just want to eat whatever the fuck we want. Like that's really it.
Yeah,
like,
we say that to help our psychological selves.
exactly, right? So this year we're kind of chasing more of like a flexible dieting, like enjoy some of Selena's like things, like her nice cream and all that kind of stuff. Like 2 summers ago, bro, if you told me, oh, I'm gonna eat chocolate and ice cream, I'd be like, are you fucking dumb? Like we're eating lettuce and coconut oil, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
because like the past couple of summers we weren't having like a cheat meal a week. It was like a cheat meal. Let's say I remember like if your coach texted you to have a pizza, you were like, okay, Muto, you can have a slice of pizza. And, like when you cried when he texted you that, you're just so deprived, right?
A lot of people, like, to be honest, both of our girlfriends have had like really positive influences on me because I posted that picture today, right? And like my girlfriend is like more about like the mental health aspect of it and like the way that I view myself kind of thing. And then like your girlfriend has like influenced me in the sense that like she talks about like balanced eating and like not feeling like shit if you don't do this or whatever, right? So it's like I'm getting like two different views and I'm like, oh my God, like I fucking have such bad body image issues, you know what I mean? Where like if I eat like a piece of chocolate cake the next day, like I'm doing like bare extra cardio or like training like 10 sets of deadlifts just to like burn energy and like all this kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that like, you know, the environments that we have this year versus the past will allow us to like get to like, let's say 10% body fat. Like it's not too shredded. It's not like you can see abs, whatever. But then like in November, December, and even like my birthday, February next year, I'm hoping that I can keep consistently a lean body type from like even after this summer. Like after August, I don't want to just like let myself go and stuff. Like we're actually trying to like just be lean like as humans, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing too this year is like it's so I don't want to say it's hard. It's a lot of work and a lot of consistency to get into like the good shape that we've been getting into like the past couple years for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's definitely easier to maintain that instead of having to try to like just start from scratch basically.
Yeah, exactly.
This year, especially for me personally, I wasn't lifting weights. I was like just going to class strictly because I wasn't trying to wake up at 6 a.m. and go to Worlds, fucking go bench press and shit like that, and go train after.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just like for myself, right? So, so it was like different, but this time around, I definitely want to just maintain it. Obviously, not gonna be as lean as year round. You got to have like realistic expectations for yourself too, right? So
exactly. We're not gonna be like fucking dick skin shredded 6% like year round. Like that's only like fucking Ronaldo. Like not too many people in the world do that, right?
I think only Portuguese guys can do that.
Yeah, literally, fuck. But yeah, dude, honestly, I think this year's gonna be dope. It's gonna be different, and after this, we'll be able to like go out for wings and like and then the next day like get back on track and like do shit like that. You know what I mean? Whereas like before it was just like I feel like what it is, it's like a snowball effect where like you're pushing the snowball down the hill and you're just eating whatever you want like throughout the winter and Christmas break, especially when we were in uni. Like it was pretty bad because like it would be like just like pizzas because pizzas are so cheap in St. Catharines, bro. It was like fucking crazy.
What was the place? 2 for 1?
2 for 1, 2 XL pizzas. I'll never forget this, bro. 2 XL
for free.
pizzas.
They pay you.
Yeah, 4 toppings each, 2 sauces, 2 drinks, $23.99. What? I'm like 4
robbing
toppings.
A bank.
Bro, it was crazy. So yeah, like I don't know, it's gonna be nice, man, because especially for the jiu-jitsu, like me and you want to get into a competition, you're floating around 170, I'm floating around like 180, or like even you floating around 160, me floating around like 170, 175. We can compete at such a lighter weight, and it gives you such a strength advantage, because what I'm thinking in my head is, if I was to fight the guys at like this weight that I am now, I would have such a fucking strength advantage on them, because
like you should have fought the guys that I fought, basically.
Exactly, and you should have been.
I don't even know. Like I probably would have fought the little toddlers that were like fighting at the beginning.
Well, dude, that's the thing, even for you, right? Like, if you're walking around that 161, like 162, and you want to go to 155 for a comp, that's fucking doable. Like, you can lose 7 pounds. You know what I mean? But if I'm at 195 and I want to compete at 170, that's like a Darren Till fucking weight cut. You know what I mean? Like,
no longer existing anymore.
Like, I would have to do like 18 sweat baths a fucking day, bro. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be a lot better for us in terms of like our performance in the sport that we have chosen to get choked out in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I know. I want to go into a competition too with like a lot, just being in shape really, because like we weren't in the like as good a shape as we are like right now. Obviously.
Not even close, bro. What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. So like, I'm also excited to see how big of a difference that makes. And because all the like the purple belts and brown belts and everyone, they all say you just gotta lift weights in order to get better. There's a certain point where it's like, obviously you can always work on your technique, but then, if you have that technique and you have so much strength, it's whatever, but then you can at least have a more fucking strength and the same technique, and you can get away with a little more in like certain positions if you get caught, right? If you don't know what to do.
Yeah, another huge thing too is the gas tank, bro. Like when you're leaner, like fat takes up more oxygen. So the fatter you are, the harder it is for you to breathe and stuff. So like, especially me, I store like a fuck ton of fat in my stomach, my lower back and stuff. So when I was competing at 195, like my whole body was red, and you can tell that like my oxidative system was like overloading, because I was like, I needed so much air, but I didn't have that like gas tank, right? Whereas like being 15 pounds lighter gives you a way better gas tank, because you're not carrying around as much weight, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So can't fucking wait for that, dude. Holy.
Anyways, okay, so let's go back onto this.
Back onto the UFC track.
So the next fight was Carla Esparza and Michelle Waterson. So,
I think horrible fucking performance by Waterson. I think she did not show enough initiative at all, like at all.
Even Esparza too. Like even when she like came in and she like threw her combo, she kind of just like backed away when she could just like continue to push.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like, I feel like in the percentage of people that have the killer instinct in the guy categories versus the girl. I'm not saying the girls aren't as lethal, but I'm saying.
Funny, be careful with your words, sir.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Listen, like Amanda Nunes, Holly Holm, like a lot of girls have. Valentina's a huge person for this. But it's the killer instinct is like when you stun someone and they start like wobbling. Like what I felt like with the girls is like they'll stun someone and then they'll continue on with the fight like it's normal. Whereas like if Conor sees someone like injured, like he's trying to like kill them. You know what I mean? So that's why I say like the killer instinct percentage like out of the top 3 is not as high. You know what I mean? That was a number 7 versus 8 matchup or something like that, right?
Oh man, and in the women's divisions, I was just talking about this the other day. It's like the champion, first contender, maybe the second and third contender, and then there's just a huge drop off, like a crazy fucking drop off in talent and shit like that. I think we might have gone over this in the first podcast that's non-existent in the air. But yeah, no, I think that Valentina Shevchenko, because of that, especially in her weight division, I wouldn't be surprised if she like just beat Demetrius Johnson's title defense record. I think it's like 11. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 11.
Oh, like,
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised unless like Amanda Nunes decides to fuck around and drop down her weight, which I highly doubt.
No. But yeah, 100%. I agree too. Like the fight could have been ended by either girl. That's the thing. And that's why I made the statement, is because it's not like it was just one of them, it was both of them. Like you land a three strike combo, you land all 3 strikes, and then after that you back off and you let the opponent recover, and like just like those 3 strikes didn't even happen. Whereas like if you follow a 3 strike combo with like a 2 strike, you try to like put like pressure or whatever, then you might be able to stop the fight. But it's like, when I watched the fight, the only reason why I thought Esparza won the fight is because of the 3rd round. She was striking more efficiently and landing more strikes, and it was obvious. But other than that, it's like one exchange, Waterson goes for a head kick, she blocks it, and then they don't do anything for like the next 30 seconds. And I'm like,
yeah, it's like a lot of like bouncing around and shit like that.
Yeah. And another thing too, I think with the girls is that a lot of the girls, they'll grow up in like one martial art, which like a lot of the guys do. So like for Waterson, for example, you could see her karate background come out so much, and it's
karate
so right, and it's so prominent. Like you see the kicks, you see the way she's fighting, but then
really
like
long.
Yeah, but you don't see like the mixed martial arts aspect of like the UFC in like all the fighters, you know what I mean? Like especially some guys too. Like some guys will be like, they're just straight wrestlers. As soon as they face a striker, they get slapped and like all this stuff, right? So I was just like, I know that, you all have your own background or whatever, but like to finish a fight, if you kick someone in the head, then you have to go in with like a punch or an elbow or like something and like try and finish the fight off. But like, I don't know. And also because it's like a 3-round fight, it's not a championship fight. I don't know. I just feel like it didn't have too much intensity, whereas like a lot of the times the girl fights are more intense like than the guy fights, you know what I mean?
And there's like a popular debate in like just mixed martial arts in general, with like, it's whether someone's better being just so dominant in one aspect of martial arts, like just like, let's say wrestling, or compared to like being mediocre
in like everything kind of thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it depends what that art, like if it's gonna be anything, the most dominant martial art, like everyone says this, is wrestling. Like look at all the champions, like Khabib, Kamaru Usman,
GSP.
But like for current champions though, even though just like everyone,
Henry,
yeah. Henry Cejudo, oh my god, like Olympic gold medalist. Like if there's gonna be anything, it's gonna be it's gotta be wrestling.
Yeah, and I think Izzy's the only one. Izzy's the only like non-wrestler. Well, Stipe, but if DC was champ, then it would be literally all wrestlers.
Yeah, well, he's the new champ too, right? So it was for a while too, right?
Yeah.
John Jones has a wrestling background.
John Jones, yeah.
All these guys have like legit wrestling backgrounds, like university or college, background. So, yeah. But yeah, so the next fight, oh fuck, this one pissed me off so much. Alexei Olenek and Fabricio Verdum. What you think of that one?
I don't know. I think maybe.
Hey, but before Taken, Fabricio was a huge favorite.
Yes, huge favorite because of how dominant he was in the past, but the past is not the present, right? Like, yeah, he was dominant back then and whatever, but at the same time, Buddy over there is also a vet. They're both vets, so it's like, I don't know.
He's a vet, but like Fabricio, like,
was a champ, wasn't he?
A lot of like MMA, he's like one of like the most, he's like up there, like top, I don't know what 3, like top 4 or 5, like greatest heavyweights of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was like the 2-year suspension, like coming back. He looked so fucking shit. Alexei Olenek, he like slimmed down too. He was putting on fucking the pressure on Verdum. So that was surprising for me.
Yeah, I thought I was
expecting Verdum to come out like that, like come out like really slow.
Yeah, and I think Olenek won the ground game too.
Yeah,
Like
like
just being
Verdum
being
had,
being in top position, right? He was in top position a bit more often. So like
yeah, like, Verdum was in. He like had his back, but then he like slipped off, or like he just gave up the position. I don't know. I would have to watch the fight over, but yeah, no, I was
uh,
kind of disappointed by
it's
that
so
fight.
it's fucking awesome watching the heavyweights go to the floor though. Like when there's a takedown and shit, like it looks like it's in slow mo. Like they're like,
Good, then they're huge, sticky, crazy, and Verdum's a crazy jiu-jitsu guy.
yeah, big
Yeah,
fucking
no,
boy.
I'm only upset because I put money on Verdum, but whatever. I'm over it. Not a big deal.
We both bet on Verdum too, so
Yeah,
but we both
whatever.
we both we both put Esparza, so at least we won that.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, we'll get to who really killed my parlays. Anyways, speaking of who, Anthony Pettis and Donald Cerrone.
I think fucking Cowboy won that fight all day, all night.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, I watched like the entire thing, bro.
Even Pettis was surprised.
I was so into that fight, bro. I was like watching it, like actually, like like being like, okay, who's landing more damage, like in the strikes, who's putting harder pressure, like
Cerrone got a
Cow.
couple takedowns too,
Yeah, but like in terms of like pressure, like Cowboy was leading the entire fight, like it was obvious. That's why I thought it was an obvious win.
and he got poked in the eye too at the end that the ref missed. So
Fucking. And
should
then
have
they had
should
beers
have swayed
after.
the judges. Yeah, because they're boys, right? They grew up in like the I think WEC days. I think
Yeah, that's crazy.
I forget what the organization they're both in, but yeah, yeah. So I just feel for Cerrone just because it was like his fourth loss in the row. It's just like
Yeah,
a
but we both no, I think I bet on Cowboy. I think I said I was calling it a Cowboy win.
I put money on Cowboy winning and then winning by decision. So I was fucking like, oh, sick.
Dude, fuck that. That was a bullshit call. I'll say that. I think that was
Dude,
a
going into the We're Doom fight, I had every fight right.
oh
I always do like a little parlay. I put like $2 and then
yeah.
like a couple $100 or something, and it's literally every fight. And then fucking it's just like the Verdum fight. Right when I saw like the first couple of minutes, I was so mad. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this.
Yeah, I know.
Olenek was a dog too, so like, oh fuck. And
Yeah,
then
I know.
Division two, but that's why I don't know. That's why I only bet a couple bucks on this shit because if I put actual money on it, I'd be fucking so pissed.
And I think a reason why I just don't bet is because like I actually like just enjoy watching the fights and like not giving a shit who wins, like
It's more exciting. I like it because it like especially like the early prelims, like it makes me more into it.
yeah, I
And
know, but you put like fucking 5, 10, 15, $20, like you're not putting like $1,000 on like Ferguson winning, like
imagine, fuck
yeah,
that.
so
I want to move out of my parents' house,
yeah.
Fuck that. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the main card. We started off with
Big card, big
fucking
card.
Greg Hardy and Jorgen De Castro. It's fucking.
I think that was a bit of a bullshit fight, dude. I think I was pissed because um De Castro started off really strong and like it looked like he
Oh, he
was
has
like
crazy hands. He has crazy hands.
and he was like tossing hard leg kicks and like doing and everyone thought his Greg Hardy's like leg his lead leg was damaged and it would
Yeah.
be an advantage for De Castro for the rest of the fight and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, like this monster fucking NFL player just like ends up beating. He hurt his toe. That was bullshit.
It's funny hearing that because like fighters will like finish a fight with a broken arm and shit, like a 5 round fight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he still finished the fight, but like his
No,
tactic was
he wasn't even fighting though. He literally didn't.
yeah.
He wasn't throwing punches or kicks or anything, right?
But that's what I mean, though. If his tactic was to chop at the legs and you fucking hurt your league leg kick, like your foot, like obviously you get fucked on that. So
Yeah, like
I don't know. He's a wife beater, so I'm not happy that
yeah,
he won.
I was pissed about that. I'll
So
never bet for Greg, even though like every like like website I look at just to see who like their predictions are. It's everything was saying Greg Hardy, but I'm like I'll never put money on that fucking guy.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose money.
Yeah, shady guy.
Yeah. Anyways, the Jeremy Stevens Calvin Kattar fight.
Oh, he took a hard fucking bow to the face, dude.
That fucking his face after too. He was leaking.
Yeah, dude. I didn't know too much about Calvin. Like I don't think I've watched one of his fights before, and I was like, fuck, man, this guy's fucking. He's a really good martial artist. Like you could tell he was mixing it.
Boxer. His boxing's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Some of the best hands in that division, the featherweight division.
100%. But the way that he fucking threw that elbow to like finish it off, I was like, damn.
And it was a close fight too. Like it wasn't like a dominating thing. It was like he even said his performance was shit. So yeah, no, I know Joe Rogan. The only reason I did some research on it before, even when I posted about him and Stevens their fight, I know that Rogan says he thinks he's like the dark horse of the featherweight division. And for like anyone who doesn't know, like dark horse, what that means in like mixed martial arts or basically like anything, any sport, I guess you could say, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Basically like someone who has like great potential, but like no one really expects to win. So that's what I mean by dark horse. So yeah, no, that's what he was saying. He's been saying Calvin Kattar dark horse. So I watched a couple of his fights, and
that's like perfect for your name because like, oh fuck, I gotta find it.
And I got goosebumps when I first like, because I've had that idea that like started and I like I've had you know how you can add Instagram accounts to your just whatever your normal like personal account, like you can just have, like, you must have for like Bionic and whatever Gules Meli lift.
Yeah.
At DarkhorseMMA as like my second account for months. I've just never posted anything. I thought of the name and I thought of the idea of having it just like starting a page one day, and like I just created it just to have the name so I wouldn't have to put like 16,000 underscores at the end of it. But yeah, no, I thought that
yeah.
So that's Calvin Kattar. I wonder who he could fight next, but definitely just a high ranked guy after Merck and Stevens. What is that? Is that what? Oh, that's the fucking Brock thing.
Yeah. It's funny because like as you're explaining the dark horse definition, you're like, yeah, it's like someone who's like not expected to win, and then I'm like thinking in my head and like it's not over until I win. Just to let you guys in on the joke, this picture of Michael is literally just a picture of him in a suit from his Instagram, and he got approached by Brock University Beauties, which used to be formerly Brock U Hotties, and they asked Michael to use a picture of him for their account. Michael's like, no. The guy begged him. Michael said yes, and then they captioned the picture, "It's not over until I win." But we're like, what is he winning? In life? I'm like, if anything, Muto. If anything, Muto having blue eyes, he's already winning in life. So like that's a fucking piss off. Like, he already won. I was gonna message them like, guys, he already won. Like, change the caption.
I didn't even know what they were gonna fucking post. Like, I was just being annoying. Like he like messaged me and then I sent him a GIF like. When they say no, they got like a little kid saying no or something, or no, it was like this, some shit like that. Then he kept fucking texting. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, just fuck off.
That's fucking jokes, bro.
That shit's for usually grade 9 or elementary school, but I didn't know that was for 20-year-olds. So so they knew everything.
What are you gonna do, but?
Caption, oh my god, do I ever regret fucking not blocking that guy right away? Shit. Shout out, what is it? At Brock University Beauties?
Beauties, yeah, Brock University Beauties.
By the way, this podcast is sponsored by at Brock University Beauties.
Yeah.
Shout out. Fuck.
Oh god.
Ooh, and I even thought like I didn't even think anyone I knew would see it too. That's the best part. So like when you sent it to me, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Out of everyone,
half my fucking family goes to Brock, dude. Like,
I was so mad. I was so upset.
fuck, that's awesome.
Anyway,
Okay.
that out. But
Yeah.
next fight was the stare down lasted longer than this fight. Francis Ngannou and Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
Buddy, I don't know how much you can say about that. All I'm gonna say about that fight is that I was pissing my pants of laughter over what was happening between the commentators right when that fight got stopped, because all the boys were just like, DC, you want to fight that guy?
Yeah.
They're all like, you want to fight that guy? And DC is like, whoa, I didn't say that.
He was even like taking jabs at him too. He's like, come on, man. I would have already taken him down by then.
Yeah.
And like he even like I posted about it recently. Like he was basically yipping him, saying he's like a bigger, less talented version of Anthony Rumble Johnson, who he already beat twice. But like Ngannou has crazy power. Not like Rumble was like one of the best KO artists, but Ngannou is obviously the fucking best KO artist now. He takes that title easily.
Yeah, this guy's a scary motherfucker, bro. Like
he doesn't have like it's not like he doesn't have crazy technique. It's like it's a street fight. He just bro, it's crazy.
He just put his head down and charged him, bro. That's all he did.
Bro, the knockout punch was literally the only punch that landed. And then maybe the ones when he was like already sleeping, drooling on the cage.
The best is like you're sitting there, like you're watching it, and then like they're doing the lead up, and like Rozenstruik's like, yeah, I'm gonna be the first to knock him out, and I'm sitting there,
calls out Ngannou.
And I'm like, oh wow, like this guy wants to knock him out, and then you're watching it, and it's just like, oh my god, like you didn't even like sweat. The guy didn't even sweat.
Bro, like Caitlin was watching it in the basement with me, and I was like to her, I'm like, do you want to see a knockout? She's like, sure. I'm like, okay, put your phone down for 10 seconds. You'll literally see a knockout right now. This guy fucking literally KOs him in 20 seconds. Like it's just like.
That's what they call a devastating knockout. Like that, like when like we watch knockouts and you're like, but then like that one with Kevin Lee, like I was like almost like concerned, like I didn't stand up and scream or anything. Like that's one of those knockouts where like you feel for the guy. You're like you're trying to do in your head like the calculation of like how big Ngannou is and like how hard he could probably actually hit, and then like being like, wait, that guy just got hit with that, like you might as well hit him with a fucking truck, like you know what I mean? Like
it's funny because that wasn't even his worst knockout too. Like him when he KO'd Alistair, that was like the worst KO in UFC history.
Yeah, but like still, dude, like his head, like it wasn't like like when McGregor gets those left hand, because it was a left hand knockout, right? He hit him with a hook. It was a hook that got him.
Yeah.
Right? So when McGregor hits a left hand knockout, the guy's chin goes one way and then it comes back and he's knocked out, right? When Ngannou knocked him out with the left hand, his chin was like it looked like it
went around the cartoon.
Bro, it was like ding 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 ding, like he was like I'm like he hit him so hard that there was like an echo effect on his like head movement. I was like, that's actually fucking crazy, dude. Like, anyways, how much are we gonna say? How much can we really talk about that fight? Like, he got fucking killed. Anyways.
Can't really say much, but like him against DC, I would like that would be because if Stipe, I don't think it's happening anymore, but the speculation was right after that fight was that they were gonna fight for like an interim belt because Miocic is still healing from like an eye injury. And they're like speculating it's going to be Ngannou because who the fuck else would deserve that shot? There's going to be Ngannou and DC, which would be interesting because, you know, Stipe doesn't have like the caliber of wrestling that DC has, and he fucking was putting Ngannou on his back, right?
I'll say this right now, and I'm happy we get DC what?
And DC's only 5'9" too. That's like one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's being videotaped. Nobody has to write it down. We're gonna have record of this. Ngannou will fucking kill DC. In my opinion. Oh
Yeah?
yeah, yeah,
Oh
dude.
yeah?
Oh, dude, 100%. Like,
Dude, you know what's funny? Like Ngannou when he fought Stipe was the favorite, and he's probably going to be the favorite against DC too.
but here's the thing, dude. And the way that I think about it is how DC fights against Stipe. Like Stipe touches his chin, like especially the last fight, like he beat up his face, like he hit him. If
Oh, but
and
he's going to approach that fight completely different because of Ngannou, though, right?
I'm just saying, regardless, he takes the same, even close to the same number of punches to the face that he did versus Stipe against Francis. Dude, he's fucked, bro. Like, not Stipe does not have Francis's power, so even if you want to say that he's a better martial artist or whatever, if you're still eating like 5 punches a round from this fucking guy, even if it's 5 and it's a small number, like those punches have a higher percentage of putting you on your ass than like someone with less power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think he would just completely approach that differently. Like instead of just even even exchanging like one punch, he's just shooting right away. Like what the fuck else are you gonna do? You can't stand with that fucking guy, right? Like
No,
against
no.
like Rumble, like he was just wrestling and then he just choked him out. Like
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can't.
and then Ngannou, if he hasn't improved off the ground, I'm going for DC all day in that fight because like
Oh
just because
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like if it's like a 5 round title fight and Ngannou doesn't knock him out, there's a solid chance DC can win off of takedowns and
Knock him
points.
out in 20 seconds or like in the first round even. It's just like
Yeah, it'll go downhill for him because DC is a smarter fighter. He knows how the fights are scored better. He knows how to score points and what the judges want to see on the winning fighter and like all that shit. So I think he'll be a smarter fighter at the end of the day. But I don't know, dude. There's something against or something with me with betting against that guy. Like why would you fucking bet against someone like that,
so
dude?
that's what everyone did against against Stipe, right? And then fuck,
And
that
then
was
he
like
won.
crazy. And he got dominated in that fight pretty much. Like and Stipe took like heavy punches. So
I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see.
So I feel bad for him though if he doesn't get the title shot next
No, they'll
because
get yeah, they have to. They have to.
he's gonna have to wait for the DC Stipe match and then DC's retiring after his next fight. So if he's fighting Stipe, it's gonna be vacant and then it's gonna be like what Ngannou and Stipe, I guess. I don't know who else it would
I,
be.
I,
Maybe.
I, I don't think DC will finish his career as the heavyweight champ.
What do you think he's gonna lose?
I think he's either gonna lose or I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I have this odd feeling that like um he's saying like he's chill with fighting Francis, but like I don't know, dude. Like, are you fucking chill with fighting that guy? Like, really deep down, like you know what I
Well,
mean?
him and Stipe have been like uh talking on Twitter, like exchanging tweets and shit, and they're saying that like they're gonna fight actually. Like they're just arranging a date now. So basically, it's
Okay.
gonna happen. Him and
So let's say that happens. DC beats Stipe, he wins the belt back, and then he retires.
yeah, he has
It's
one more
it's
fight. He's not
it's
fighting
just
more than once.
so it's gonna be Stipe and Francis anyways for the new heavyweight champ of the world anyways. So you know what I mean? Like regardless of what happens with DC, if it's his last fight, it's his last fight.
Yeah,
I'd rather see DC fight Francis because he's saying that, oh, I'll just take him down. I don't think it's that fucking simple. The guy's like 6'8", like fucking he has to, like you said on the first podcast, you're like Francis has to fucking cut weight to make 265. Like what?
yeah,
Cut
like,
cut weight to make 265? Are you fucking kidding me, bro? That's fucking crazy. Cause he's not fat. That's what's fucked up. Like when DC has to cut to make 265, it makes sense because he's chubby.
yeah, he's fat.
Yeah, but like Francis is like pure muscle and he still has to cut to make that weight. Like it just makes no sense, dude. Fucking wow. Crazy.
So Nagano's 6'4" and Rumble Johnson 6'2", and DC was taking DC fucking tosses guys. He's been tossing guys. He's only lost one fight at heavyweight, and he like so you have to watch like I gotta send you some highlight videos on YouTube that I've watched of DC, just like because when he first started he was a heavyweight, right, and then he eventually dropped down a lightweight after a few fights in the UFC, or light heavyweight, sorry. Yeah, no, you should see like him just tossing these humongous guys. So like that's why I just because I've seen it before, that's the only reason why I have that kind of mentality. But it'd be different if I never seen him fucking throw around
guys that size.
Like a Mack truck.
Yeah.
So that's why. But yeah, no, it's interesting if Stipe can't fight, then those two get it. That'd be cool. Feel for DC though, if he gets slept in his retirement fight, he gets slept in 20 seconds. So poor DC.
That would be fucked up, dude. Fucking legend. Then he would have to get in and fucking call fights, like knowing he got killed.
Yeah, he's such a sick guy too. I love him.
He is a sick guy. He's pretty much like the same as Rogan. You just want to touch him.
Okay. Co-main Henry King of Cringe Cejudo and Dominic Cruz. Cejudo knocked out Cruz or gets to TKO in the second round. Yeah. Well, okay. What did you think of the stoppage? Let's go right into it.
I'm pissed, dude.
Yeah.
I was sincerely like actually fucking mad inside. I was like, that's such bullshit, dude. That he fucking retired. He won't even give Cruz the rematch. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah. I was shocked when he retired, but like when you kind of break it down, it does make sense though.
Okay, but regardless of the retirement, dude, like if I was that like sickest combat athlete of all time, whatever he wants to call himself, I wouldn't be content with like saying I was the GOAT killer against Cruz. Like, yeah, sure, you fucked up the other guys for sure, hands down. Like they were real stoppages. Like, but against him, it's controversial. So it's like, did you really beat the greatest bantamweight of all time, or was it a fluke early stoppage that gave you the W, and you're just gonna take it as if it was like a well-earned victory? You know what I mean?
Honestly, like I don't even think it's that like it's controversial, but I've definitely seen way worse stoppages.
Oh yeah.
Like obviously I disagree with it. Like if it's a title fight, the guy should fucking go to sleep. And especially if Dominic Cruz made a really good point. It's not like he's like falling down on his face. Like he was getting up too, right?